Ladies and gentlemen, I am KageKaze, and I'd like to welcome you to my Neverwinter crafting tutorial. And with any crafting tutorial, you need to start with the basics. So I'm here to tell you how you want to go about crafting, what you need to do, and how to set yourself up for success if you decide you wish to go into crafting. Now, I feel that it's important that you know that you'll want to go into at least one crafting profession in this game, even if crafting normally does not interest you. In this game, there is a crafting profession called leadership that will be how you start things off. And so if you have no desire to do any other crafting, you want to at least go into this. It will take you absolutely no resources, no money at all, and it is a way to get Astral Diamonds, which are the in-game currency, and a way to get extra experience and gold. All you have to do is assign a task, and it will complete it for you. So I urge you to at least continue this tutorial up until you get a feel for it, and then continue with leadership if you decide to do nothing else. Now, if you decide to go into the other crafting professions, the first thing you're going to want to know is how to gather materials. So here we are in Protector's Enclave, pretty much the starting hub of the game. And I'm here in the marketplace. Let's just zoom in a bit here so you can kind of see that. We're right here at this market vendor here. We're right across from the professional merchant here, which will give you everything you need for crafting. But this is where you're going to get your kits that will allow you to basically mine nodes out in the world. Unlike other MMOs, you're not going to go out and find a node of ore and mine it. You're not going to go and chop down a tree or anything like that. You're not going to skin animals for leather. You're going to use these religion, dungeoneering, arcana, nature, and thievery kits. Each one of these is, of course, respective of the primary classes that use them. So if you are not a thief, you'll want to get a thievery kit, things like that. At the very least, if you don't want to spend a lot of money on these at first, I recommend dungeoneering. Dungeoneering is how you will find secret doors, which can lead to treasure chests, which often have the highest chance of getting some kind of crafting materials. In fact, I know at least one dungeon that has 2 treasure chests hidden by a dungeoneering kit. And there are all sorts of hidden areas in the world that will allow you to do that. Nature kits are highly important for any class, as no character class right now has the ability to grab nature items. So you will want to have a mixture of nature kits and dungeoneering kits. Those are the 2 I highly recommend. Once you get to a certain point, money is not really going to be a major problem. So I recommend carrying a handful of all of the kits except for the one that your class represents. If you carry at least 5 to 10 of each kit, honestly, that should be more than enough to get you through any instance or dungeon that you run and will allow you to basically mine all the nodes. Now, if you're playing in a group in a 5-man dungeon, please be aware of the players around you. If you have a control wizard and you find an arcana node, it's usually courteous to let them take that instead of taking it yourself. So once you have these and you're out in the world and you're dungeoning and you have all the items you need, once you hit around level 10 or 11, you will get a quest here at Protector's Enclave to start your crafting career. This is Sergeant Knox. This is a gentleman you will get very familiar with, as he sends you off to the various levels that you need to go to as you're playing the game. Once you hit level 10, he's going to have a quest for you. He is, of course, here in the northern end of Protector's Enclave, for those who aren't sure. And you'll get this quest called a True Professional. He'll basically send you down to the professions vendor, and you're going to get a little bit of everything that you're going to need for each type of profession. You're going to get rock salts for leatherworking, charcoal for plate, thread for tailoring, and porridges for leadership, so you have a bit of that. So you start off with a little bit of everything that you need to get going, and then it will be up to you to, of course, farm the materials you need or get them through the crafting system. So let's go ahead and go to the vendor, and we'll talk a little bit about how you will start your leveling. Alright, we're back at the southern end again at the marketplace. Turning to the right, we will go to our professions vendor. And here you will turn in your true professional. And that starts everything you need. Now you can go into the store here, and you can of course buy a few of these things as you need them. You will usually not need some of the green items until you go further on. And also you have some assets here that will be used in higher level crafting as well. These will affect the quality of the items that you can create, and some of them will be required for higher end quests. So once you've gotten your crafting materials and you've started your quest for this, you can go into the tab within. And the first view you'll see here is the overview. You'll see that you have one open slot that you can choose a task on, and you will get more as you go, to a total of 9. You'll see that you'll get one slot right away that you can choose a task on, and then you'll get more as you go. You can get 2 for just leveling, 1 for 30, 1 for 60, 3 for leveling your professions at 3, 10, and 20, and another one if you get 3 professions to 20, and of course some special ones for completing a task with a high speed bonus or gaining a high rank 3 result of a quality craft. So starting off, you're going to want to do leadership. You can do anything. You can do any one of these that you want. To let you know what these are, leadership is a generic one that will be giving you gold, it will be giving you diamonds, and various items like boxes that will give you treasure. Mail smithing is the craft for clerics and for great weapon fighters. That's how you'll be making your armor. You will not be making weapons on any of these. Platesmithing is for guardian fighters. The only thing that you'll make for this that's different from the others is a shield, since it's counted as armor. So this is the only one that I know of that allows you to create an offhand weapon. Leatherworking is of course for the trickster rogue, and tailoring for the control wizard as far as the gear. Any one of these you can pick, and you can see that you can hire a merchant and get going right away. But let's go to leadership, because this is the one that everybody can do, and it's the one I highly recommend you try, because it's going to get you started. It's going to teach you kind of gradually how to do it with very small crafts. All the other crafts require much more time than leadership at the very beginning. After that, leadership is the one that takes longer and requires less input from you as the player. To start off, I want to show you that you do have filters. You can tell it to hide tasks with unmet requirements and hide higher level tasks. Now you will notice that I do have level 1, 2, and 3 stuff here, even though my leadership is currently at level 0. Those are showing up because they are nearby levels. If I turn off the hide later tasks, you can notice it goes all the way up to 20. I can see what crafts are available, but I'm not concerned about those. I don't want to confuse myself. I'm going to hide those higher level tasks. So the first thing you need to do on any profession is to hire yourself a mercenary or a craftsman of that type. This only usually takes about 5 seconds, as you can see, to hire the first one. So I'm going to do that now. You can see it tells me my results will be I get a mercenary and I gain experience in leadership. We'll click Start Tasks. You'll see that it will go through the progress bar, it will complete, and then we can claim our rewards. Here we go, we're done. Once we collect the result, you'll notice that the bar on the left goes up, and now my crafting is at level 1 for leadership. If you want to know what you need for the next level, you just mouse over the bar. You'll see that I have 20 out of 100 before I can gain the next level of leadership. Now that you've gotten level 1, you'll notice there's only one thing you can do at this point, and that's basic training. It's only going to take 15 seconds, and this is why leadership should be the very first thing you do to get the hang of it, and leadership at the very least should be the craft that you do for all of your characters if you craft nothing else. For this, I will get a 100 copper, which is a silver. I'll get some personal experience, and of course, leadership experience. Let's go ahead and queue that up now. As you can see, to craft, you require that mercenary. So the first quest was hire this mercenary. It takes 5 seconds. Let me go ahead and clear that so you can see it again. You'll notice that it requires an asset. All you have to do is click the asset button, and it shows here's your assets. You have one mercenary, go ahead and use them. Now you'll notice in his description he has a 5% speed. This doesn't count through the required assets, but some crafts will have slots for optional assets. So you can potentially have additional mercenaries or crafters working on a particular set of instructions and get that time to go down, you can level these guys up over time. And I'll be talking about that more as we get higher in levels. So let's go ahead and choose my mercenary so I can get this craft done and start the task. If I want to finish the task early, I can click the Finish Now button, but it will cost me Astral Diamonds. The longer the task, the more diamonds it takes. And it will happen in real time that as the progress bar goes down, the requirement for the Astral Diamonds will go down as well. So if you want to wait until it hits a certain level and complete it, you can do that. Let's go ahead and collect our results. We are doing pretty well now. We are pretty far into it, and now we have another craft that is 2 minutes long. This one is going to give me a small chest of goods, possibly have potions, enchantments, and profession resources. So what this is doing is teaching you what leadership is going to give you. Each one of these early crafts is going away, can only do it once, but that's because it wants to show you these are the rewards you can expect for doing this craft. So we're going to get the chest, personal experience, and crafting experience. Once again, I have to choose an asset, choose a mercenary, and we'll start the task. We'll go ahead and let that finish, and we'll come back. Alright, looks like our task is complete. We'll click collect the results. We'll go ahead and grab that. And just to give you an idea of what's in that box, we'll go ahead and open it. And we'll see that we got a little bit of Residium. This is excellent. This is a crafting recipe that allows you to create green level or uncommon types of items, which you might see can be +1, +2. I also got some gathering kits for Arcana, Dungeoneering, and Nature. Now keep in mind the contents of this box are random, so you might get something completely different. But this is what you can expect to possibly get from this box, and this is a boon for any other crafting I will be doing. The next task it gives us is now a 5-minute duration, so it's going up in time. And now it's going to be another box, a silver, and some leadership experience. So rather than get personal experience, we're going to get just a little bit of silver. So we'll go ahead and do that, and once again, once this is done, we'll come back. And it looks like our craft is done, so let's go ahead and grab our goodies out of the oven. And with that, we have 80 experience on our bar. We only need 20 more to level. So this very beginning part here is very scripted, really, as far as what you can expect. As you can see, the next craft is 15 minutes, and this one starts to give you some of the meat and potatoes of what leadership will actually do for you. You can see here we get a silver, more personal experience, and this time we get 100 rough Astral Diamonds, and then the last 20 that we need. Now we could do this. This is Feed the Needy, and this is fairly quick. You see duration of 10 minutes. But this requires an additional resource. You can see here that it requires porridge. Now if you remember, the quest that we got to come here gave us 3 of these, so we can actually complete this. Now unfortunately it was just shy of giving us enough to get the next level. So if we want to level on this, we have to buy 1 more thing of porridge. Now porridge thankfully is very cheap. This is about 30 copper from the vendor that we're already standing in front of. So now what I could do is I could grab another porridge and I could do these smaller crafts to gain the next level. I have to do it 4 times to gain the next level to get the 20 experience I need. But you'll notice that I get 5 experience for 10 minutes. So this right now is a time to talk about your experience per minute and how you're going to want to maximize your crafting. Now the time to reward system in this game appears to be based on the more often that you come to the game and you interact with the game, and thus the web page, the more rewards you get. So you might notice here, for example, there's a 2-hour quest that gives me 40 experience and a 4-hour quest that gives me 80 experience. And the rewards there are the same. 2 hours and 40 is the same as 4 hours and 80. But you'll notice that this craft that takes 2 hours also gives me personal experience and money. It's because the game wants you to be more interactive with it, and it rewards you for coming back. Also rewards you for interacting with the web page, which I'll cover a little bit later. The thing about this one is I'm getting 5 experience for a 10-minute craft. So if we take the 5, of course, divide it by the 10, you're getting about half of an experience per minute, 0.5. But if we take this is the one we need, and you can see it's only 5 minutes more than this one, and it's going to give us exactly what we need. So we'll take that 20 experience, divide that by, of course, by the 15 minutes, and we'll see that we get 1.333 repeating experience per minute. So reasonably, I should be doing this craft instead of this one, even though this one is going to take less time. This is an exception to the case because the game is actually trying to give you this kind of scripted, guided experience, but it's not telling you that. So you don't want to do Feed the Needy now, but it is going to become important after this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and complete this training here for 15 minutes. And we're going to start the task. And what I'd like to point out about this crafting is, even though I'm sitting here right now in front of the crafting vendor, is you can do this at any time out in the world. All you have to do is press N to get to this pane, and then you can click on the button and you can craft no matter where you are. As long as you have the resources in your inventory, then you're fine. If you're concerned about inventory space, I'd like to point out that you have a separate crafting tab right here, the third one down, where all your crafting materials go. So as you're questing, it'll all go in here. So you can buy materials in advance. Say you're going to go out into the world and you're not going to come back here for a while, and let's say you're a platesmith. And in order to craft higher levels of ore, you're going to need charcoal to do that. So you could come here, buy some charcoal, or in my case, I might be a tailor, so I could buy this spool of thread, and it will go right into my crafting inventory. And I can just buy as many as I need, and then go out into the world. If I ever need more, I can come back. So you can do it anywhere in the world. In a dungeon, questing, PvP if you so desire. Maybe you're waiting for a respawn, you can bring this up. And now that also brings me to the web page. So what I'll do is I'll show you a little bit of footage here from the web page, and you'll see that you just log in and you can select any character that you have that is capable of crafting, and you can use the interface much like you would do here in game. Select the crafting that you want to do, and as long as you have the items in your character's inventory, you can do whatever crafting you want. Now, keep that in mind that you do need to have the items in your inventory. They can't be in your bank or anything like that. And of course, because you have so many inventory slots for crafting, that shouldn't be a problem. But if you're using the web page, you're not going to be able to get the resources you need if you run out. So you want to make sure you have that ready in advance. Alright, our craft is once again complete. We'll go ahead and grab that. We now have some rough Astral Diamonds, and we're now at level 2 leadership. And since I didn't show it earlier, let me go ahead and open up the chest that we got. And we can see this one wasn't that great. This one just gave a potion of lesser healing. Not terrible. Again, they're kind of random. And we'll go ahead and refine our Astral Diamonds now. Now on to our next task. We talked about experience per minute. And this is where it starts to really hit home. Now we only have 2 real tasks that we can complete without spending any kind of in-game currency. We have guard duty, gives 100 copper, 150 experience, and 40 experience for leadership. Martial training gives us 80 leadership experience. Now, if you don't want to keep up with the game and you just want to get your experience per minute, by all means, I recommend the martial training. This is especially useful if at the end of the day, you're about to go to bed maybe, or you're going to log off for any long period of time. The martial training might be a bit better for you in that regard, because it will make sure that you get all the experience for that 4-hour duration. But if you can keep up on it and you have the 2 hours to spend, I recommend guard duty, because guard duty will not only give you the experience, but it will give you personal experience and it will give you silver. If you wanted to look at each of these, we could of course do a calculation on the hours. So let's take this 2-hour craft, for example. It's 120 minutes, right? So 40 experience divided by that 120 minutes yields about a 0.3 repeating experience per minute return. If you do either the martial training or guard duty, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get the same rate either time. But if you recall, Feed the Needy has a much better return at 0.5. So it's at this point why I said that you don't want to do Feed the Needy first, you wanted to wait until now. Because now you can actually get the experience for doing Feed the Needy and get that boost, and then move on to doing the guard duty and martial training. So again, keep in mind that you were given some to start, so you can go ahead and choose this. And you can see it has a required asset. Alright, we use our Mercenary. And it has optional assets. So this is what I was talking about earlier, that you can have more than one mercenary and you can hire them on. At this point, I don't have any other mercenaries, so I can't speed this up. So I can't do anything there now. But you can also see that I have consumed resources. Expendable resources that will be used up. So it's letting me know that this porridge will be taken up. I will lose it at the end of the craft. So I'll go ahead and hit that. We'll see it takes about 10 minutes, and then I'll have a little bit more leadership experience. Using the techniques that we've covered previously, I've gotten myself up to level 3 leadership now. And as you can see, by obtaining level 3, I've now unlocked another slot that I can use to craft 2 things at once now. It is at this point that you're going to need to decide if you're going to continue on with leadership, or if you want to go ahead and unlock one of the primary crafting professions. If you decide to continue into leadership, the first thing you're going to need to do is hire a mercenary. This is unlocked at level 3 along with Scout Area. If you wish to continue, you're going to need a second mercenary. You cannot craft without some kind of NPC, a mercenary, a miner, a tailor, etc., doing the job for you. Also unlocked at level 3, you'll notice we get this Scout Area ability, and you'll notice that it gives me 40 experience for 4 hours, half the experience rate of martial training. Even though there's the same time, you'll notice that the rewards have also been changed. I can also get experience and a small chest of goods. This is where leadership becomes interesting. If you want to grind out levels, you're going to have some very obvious choices. In this case, my recommendation would be the 2-hour guard duty. It gives the same experience as martial training, but it takes the same amount of time and gives additional experience and money. If you don't want to keep up on the game, you can do the 4-hour martial training, and that's going to give you the most experience. So to give you an idea, I'm going to go ahead and do martial training in order to get this leveled up. I have to select my mercenary, and of course I still don't have any optional assets. I'll start the task, and to show the point about not being able to continue with my leadership without another mercenary, I'll show you now that I cannot do any of these. You'll notice I do not have that asset required to continue crafting. If I try to do martial training again, you'll notice that I do not have that asset available. It will let me know that it is tied up and currently in use. It is at this point that if you wish to continue, you will have to hire this mercenary, and that will take you 18 hours. Now, you will want to, as you unlock slots, continue to hire mercenaries, either in leadership or your chosen profession, as you will eventually be using these mercenaries to craft higher level mercenaries. So this mercenary may become a man-at-arms or a guard or something like that, but you require 4 of them to do that, and then you lose those 4 in favor of the 1 improved asset. So as you go along, I would suggest now starting to plan out how often you want to hire mercenaries. If you decide to open up a second crafting profession, in this case I'm a control wizard, so I should probably go with tailoring. I'm going to go ahead and use this second slot to do that now. So I can click on the second slot and you'll notice it takes me instantly to leadership. Instead of doing that, I can just go over here to one of the professions as I so choose and click on it. So here we'll go to tailoring. You can see that once again, hiring your first weaver is very quick, 5 seconds. Let's go ahead and do that now. And we're done. We'll go ahead and collect the weaver, and I can now perform level 1 tailoring tasks. As you can see, tailoring is a very different kind of crafting from leadership. It doesn't have the obvious areas that you're going to need to be putting things into, and you're going to have to be doing multiple tiers of things as you progress in order to make the items you need. I think this is a good time to stop, as this has been an excellent intro into the crafting of Neverwinter. So in the next video, I'll be going over the primary professions. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm KageKaze. I want to thank you for watching. If you found this video informative, then please like the video, subscribe if you would like to see more, and feel free to leave feedback and comments in the comment section below. I'll see you next time.